Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Left Off the Map. I'm going to make my version of a Caesar salad, but I'm using hot smoked salmon. First thing I need to do for this is make my croutons, because I'm going to make them from scratch. So I've got some sourdough. So just cut a slice into 3 battens, cut those battens into dices, then pop them into a medium roasting tray. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, but not much. And what I'm going to use is some good bacon. Some bacon that I know won't drop a lot of water, but will render out some good fat. Put my bacon over the top. I can go into an oven. 200 degrees for probably 25 to 30 minutes. My croutons and bacon have got about 10 to 15 minutes to go. I've prepped all of the finely diced things that are going to go into my dressing. So I can start making my dressing now. I've got some sour cream or some creme fraiche, whichever one you like, into a bowl. Then in with that, all of these ingredients. So I've got gherkins, baby capers, 2 shallots, and a decent handful of parsley, which has all been cut up really fine. That goes in with our creme fraiche or sour cream. Then last 2 things to go in with that, or 3 things. I'm gonna have a pinch of salt as well, but about 1.5 teaspoons of horseradish cream, juice of half a lemon, and a pinch of salt. So bring all that together. So boiled eggs. While I was waiting for my croutons to cook and my bacon to cook, I boiled my eggs 5 minutes each. They're still a little bit soft in the centre, which is what I want. So just waiting on our croutons and our bacon to finish off. All of our ingredients are ready to go to assemble this salad. So the cos I've cut into little wedges. Oh, before I do that, I'm just going to pop a couple of bits of this dressing down first. So the bits on the bottom of the salad get dressed as well. Cos, and really you're just sort of setting this out however you think it looks good. My bacon pieces, my croutons, they've come up beautifully. Those croutons are awesome. So my asparagus, what I want to do is on a slight angle, just cut through, and then you'll be left, then you've got your spears left, the tips of your spears left, which you can hold on to. So this asparagus mixture, pop it around your salad, and then you can get some of your spears and just pop them in on top as well. They're a little bit more delicate, so they can be eaten whole when they're raw. My egg, 2 eggs. I'll go 3 eggs. 3 eggs. Now I can do my salmon. Crumble some of my salmon around everywhere. A little bit more of my dressing. More croutons on top. All right, we'll see how these eggs are. So we'll cut the eggs You've got just slightly gooey on the inside, which I think is the best way to have them. Well, I am really happy with that Caesar. I reckon it looks great. I know it'll taste great. Some salt on top of my eggs, because eggs love salt and they love pepper. There we go, my take on a classic Caesar salad. That's pretty good. I would eat that a couple of times a week. And I'm not a big salad person, so I'm pretty happy with that. All right, let's head off and catch up with Holly again and see where she is today.
Today I'm in northern Tasmania where I'm nestled amongst these fantastic hazelnut trees in a hazelnut orchard, visiting Hazelbrae Hazelnuts, where I'm going to go inside and chat to Christy about what they do here and the magnificent produce they create. Then I'm going to head on down the road to Longford to a gorgeous farm stay at Chatsworth, and I just can't wait to check it out. Christy, I have never been to a hazelnut farm before. This is incredible. And your produce, yum.
Yeah, we think it's pretty special too. We enjoy getting up and going to work every day.
I can imagine. How did you end up being a hazelnut farmer?
Oh, it's a long journey of not knowing what you're doing really, and then finding out what you'd like to do and just making the step and finding someone who'd already planted one.
Yep, that's the way to do it. So there's a fair bit involved in this sort of industry, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. It's a really new industry, and a lot of people don't know how to grow hazelnuts in Australia because it's not something we've traditionally done. We were really lucky when we found this farm. The previous owners had done a lot of very good research and have planted excellent varieties to make a really good enterprise here. And the bones of the property with the Great Western Tears in the background there, just, it's so beautiful. We just wanted to share it with everybody else as well. So we went into tourism too. So we do self-guided tours. We do group tours as well, so farmer-led tours. The groups really enjoy those because I can talk for a little while if you give me a chance.
Yep, me too.
So we've obviously got a cafe and restaurant here on site. And we've got a lot of future plans too, but we can't reveal those till we get started.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of exciting things to come.
Yeah.
Can you pick all year round?
No, so we're about to come up to harvest season, which is in towards mid-March into late April.
Yeah.
So we pick them all up off the ground. So we're like squirrels. We pick up all the hazelnuts and then we store them away in our little shed.
I like the way you...
And then we will eat them in winter. So they're not actually ready to eat when we harvest.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why we gather. We gather and store.
Yeah.
And then, we don't have squirrels because there's no competition for picking them up. And then we let them mature. So as they mature, they sweeten, and that's why we're always eating them, because they change the flavour over the course of 2 years. So we're the biggest farm and the biggest producer in Tasmania. But that doesn't mean that we have a lot and we have a massive market. We're quite a small blip on the radar in the industry. We only really supply our farm gate space, the harvest and farm gate markets, and a couple of small wholesalers and our online store.
Yeah.
And all of our customers seem to consume as much as we can grow, as quick as we can and grow it.
So that Tassie people love their hazelnuts then, clearly.
Yeah.
Christy, thank you so much for having me to your amazing hazelnut farm. You guys are doing such a good job, and it's so cool to see so many different fabulous ways that hazelnuts are being used out here.
You're very welcome.
We're in northern Tasmania in beautiful Longford at the magnificent Chatsworth, the most spectacular spectacular property. I'm in awe, and I'm joined by lovely Margaret here, who is the owner of this incredible place. Oh my goodness, congratulations.
Thank you.
It is stunning.
Thank you very much.
Tell me a little bit about this home.
So we got the opportunity to buy the property last year in August, and as soon as we saw it, we just knew we've got to have people stay here. It's just magnificent, and we weren't going to live here, so we decided to turn it into a super stylish luxury accommodation. Yeah.
And you have absolutely done that. It is oozing style. It is the ultimate country escape. So it's self-contained, so people can bring their own food, but you've teamed up with a few businesses as well where you can organise some catering for people when they stay?
Yes, they can definitely do that. We've already had plenty of caterers that are, you know, delivering food, even a breakfast platter for guests that come and stay, for those guests that cannot be bothered doing their own cooking, even though there's a pretty good, nice country kitchen right behind me.
Yeah.
They can also, if they prefer to do their own cooking, you know, put on the barbecue outside. There's a few vegetables out in the garden where they can wander the grounds and gardens and pick their own as they go.
Immerse themselves in the ultimate country farm stay.
Yes, so originally it used to belong to our family farm, so Cressy House Estate, and it got sold off in the 70s for succession planning, and in that time, previous, you know, 2 other owners have owned the property since then. We then got very lucky to be asked if we wanted to purchase this property, as it's right next door to our existing farm already. And we couldn't, as soon as we saw it, we couldn't, you know, we had to say yes. So we started off probably 5.5 years ago. Basically, the co-joined part of the original homestead, which is dating back from 1827, we had the opportunity to develop it up, do a bit of renovation, and that's what we did. And the idea came that me coming from Denmark, I could just see the stunning property, the stunning views, you know, mountains overlooking to Western Tiers. I could just see the potential that people would love to come and stay on the farm. And so we did it up and opened it up 5 years ago, and we haven't looked back since. And now we're just lucky, you know, we've got to open another accommodation up.
Because when people stay at the Cressy House, they get that, again, ultimate farm stay experience, don't they? They get to roam the grounds, and you do breakfast for them as well?
Yes, so we do allow guests to wander wherever they like. We just ask them to shut any gates they might be opening so we don't let sheep out. Even if there's any action in the shearing shed, they're allowed to go and watch. Or if they're harvesting in the nearby paddocks, we encourage, go and watch, go and have a look, go and have a taste, if there's anything they can taste as well. There's also, you know, a massive garden to the estate with trampoline and swings and pedal tractors for the little ones, and there's a tennis court as well, so people can have a hit of tennis or go down to the river and jump into the river from the pontoon.
You definitely won't get bored. There's lots to do.
Yes.
You can put them to work.
Yeah.
Margaret, thank you so much for having me out here. I am in awe. I'm going to take a few styling tips home, and I can't wait to come back and spend more time. I'm going to go for a little wander around the property now and
Sounds good.
see what I can explore, because it's just spectacular. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Well, from one of my favourite nuts in hazelnuts to my absolute favourite nut, the macadamia. We're going to make a puttanesca. I'm going to add some macadamia to, one, the texture that you get from macadamia, the flavour, and also that sort of beautiful oil that will come out when we start to make our puttanesca sauce. So instead of chopping everything up, a really good thing to have on hand is a small food processor, especially one like this, which is battery operated, so it can kind of go anywhere, it doesn't need to plug in. So I will roughly chop some of my ingredients before I put them in. So my olives can go in whole. I'm not going to blitz this as much as I would if I was making a curry base. I still want it to have some texture. Chilli. So just roughly chop the chilli. Three cloves of garlic, some red wine. I'll hold off on the red wine for now. My onion, I'm going to use half of an onion, roughly chopped. anchovy, probably between sort of 3 to 5 anchovies, depending on how much you like anchovies. I love them, they're sort of packed full of flavour. Parsley. Half a bunch of parsley. And my macadamias. Pinch of salt. And just a little bit of olive oil to get it going. We'll use some of the oil that naturally comes out of the macadamias as they get blitzed up. So a small amount of olive oil. Another pinch of salt. And let's blitz. So I just want to pulse this. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to blitz it completely. So just pulse. Okay, there's going to be some big chunks of macadamia in there, some small chunks of macadamia. Everything else is pretty much the same consistency. So that's done. I'm going to put my pasta on now because the dish basically comes together in 5 minutes. Well, 10 minutes, allowing our pasta to cook. So spaghetti. Because we've chopped everything up, it's going to cook really quickly. Big pinch of salt in my water. I need a small fry pan. Move my pasta over to there. Fry pan onto there. So throw all of your puttanesca ingredients in. So I'll do a bit of a quick clean up here. I'm going to cook that off, like I said, for 3 minutes. Toss it over, make sure everything's sort of, because it's cut so small, it's going to cook quite quickly. Make sure it's cooked through. Red wine on, reduce that, and then add my tomato passata, cook that down, and everything's going to come together in a big bowl. Okay, I can turn my pasta off. I can turn my sauce off. I'm going to need some pasta water. So I'll take straight from my pot into the bowl. There's probably enough pasta water that's come over there. And I'll pop in my sauce. About half my sauce I reckon I'll need for this. Big amount of pasta, because we've got enough to be able to create a big amount of pasta. A little bit more. Some fresh parsley. Oh, I'll put that on at the end. I'll get some pecorino cheese. Again, something that lasts a long time and is probably going to be in your fridge quite regularly. Some pecorino or parmesan. One of the hard cheeses, one of the long life cheeses. And then just some fresh parsley. And that is one of my favourite Italian dishes. Now, because I'm someone who likes heaps of flavour in my dishes, this is a perfect one for me. All of those ingredients are sort of really intense in flavour anyway, capers, olives, pecorino, tin tomatoes. But once you take them to create more surface area to extract flavour from, you end up with a dish that I think everyone is going to love. Today, to finish off the episode, we're going to do a little macadamia tutorial. Considering we made the macadamia puttanesca, I'm going to go through the different ways that you can use macadamia and the reason why I love macadamias. You can eat them just as they are, raw like that, toast them, and you'll caramelise the flavour. It'll be more nutty and much more intense. You can break them up like this to toss them through salads like you would if you were making croutons. You can grate them really finely over the top. But one thing that I've been doing a little bit of lately is making a caramelised macadamia milk. I've toasted my macadamias, so I'm going to pop them in. My toasted macadamias. I want to cover that with water. Lid on. We end up with caramel macadamia milk. Oh, which is sweet, it's toasty, all of those great flavours that you get from toasting the macadamia. So there's lots of different ways that you can play around with macadamias. They are very, very good for you health-wise. We know they have the best monounsaturated fat, which is the fat that our body needs. We know they have protein, we know they have carbohydrates, all the things that our body craves. And it's a great way of getting more plant-based food into your diet. And it's an Australian native, so what more could you want? We'll see you next time on Left Off the Map.